Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for being on the program. You have a fascinating life story. Not always an actor. Started out in another profession. Do people? I guess people know this by now, but you're a doctor, right?
Yeah, I was a full-time doctor. I was an internist, and it was a total fluke accident that, you know, I was doing acting full-time. It was my dream to do it, but I never thought it would be possible for a very short 43-year-old Asian man to, like, succeed in this.
Where did you go to medical school?
I went to medical school at University of North Carolina. I grew up in the North Carolina East Coast. Nope? Okay.
And practiced, had your own patients and stuff?
Yes, sir. I worked at an HMO in California for 7 years, full-time as an internist, and my wife's also a doctor as well.
How about that? And did you find the practice of medicine satisfying? And
you know, I did. I eventually, when I was in residency, I learned to love it. I mean, I think I was kind of traditionally, I have a traditional Korean parents that kind of nudged me or, you know, vis-a-vis forced me into doing medicine. But I did learn when I was doing my residency training in New Orleans, I really did love being a doctor, and I was just an honored, you know, to do it.
First, do no harm. Does that still apply? First,
yes.
Do no harm.
Yes, do no harm. That's non-malfeasance, kind of, yeah.
Is that the Hippocratic Oath?
Hippocratic Oath, that's part of it, yeah.
Now, do you believe that you, single-handedly or with the help of others, saved lives?
I have helped save lives. I've also, to me, in all seriousness, in medicine, it's not about saving lives. It's about, to heal is seldom, to save is sometimes, but to comfort is always.
Comfort is always.
You always be there for the patient. Yeah, that's what I learned.
Well, I think a lot of people would say, sadly, some doctors don't behave that way. Some of them perhaps lose sight of the comfort aspect of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in medicine, just like in any business, it can get corrupted. It can people can lose their path. We're all human, but I do think that's kind of, as a doctor, that, you know, I was really old school. I was really intensely serious. I was never comedic, and I was definitely.
Interesting?
Yeah, I never was good. I wasn't like Patch Adams or anything. I was, it wasn't like, you know, you got herpes, but I got your nose. It wasn't like that. I was a real deal.
That's good. Yeah. Thank God.
I know.
It never stood on anybody's air hose just to hear the funny sound?
I never stood.
Yeah.
Never.
But now, and then we'll move on to the other part of your career in life. But would I go to you? Would you recommend you to me? Or
I was an internist.
You're a good doctor.
Yeah, if you had any physical, if you want to name a physical ailment, I could help lead you to the right specialist.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot, but I know a little about everything.
That's all I need.
Yeah,
exactly all I need.
I could be your personal doctor.
So now comes along the movie and Knocked Up. And, and how do you get in that?
Well, I auditioned for it, just like every other actor did, and I auditioned to be the gynecologist for Katherine Heigl's character. I delivered the baby and Knocked Up, and yeah.
I've always wondered about scenes like that, and I mean, honestly, what clinically speaking?
Yeah.
How real is the simulation?
It felt so real. It was like being on call in med school. I mean, Judd Apatow, the writer-director, made everything that's part of his comedy. It's just so grounded and realistic. And we were working like a 16-hour day when my character delivered that baby. It was like being on call for like 16 hours. But the only difference in that movie, there was a prosthetic vagina.
Oh!
I don't know if I'm sorry. I didn't mean I could say. I wasn't saying it. No. I wasn't saying it comedically.
Oh!
Sorry.
Whoa.
I did not.
No, I've had a couple of those. Oh my God.
A couple. He's had a couple.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, mea culpa. I'm so sorry. I was
not just one. He had not just one.
All right, let's just move on.
Let's move. I was being clinical, not dirty.
Now let me ask you about and then suddenly the brand new baby appears.
The brand new baby.
Now, how old in the film is the brand new baby? It's not brand new, but it's made to look brand new.
Right. They were actually slightly premature babies that were maybe a month old, but they looked like they were newborns. So that was kind of the key.
Well, how
and they
do
were
you
twins.
get to use them? Now that's not that's not legal, is it? If they're premature babies, what do you?
Well, they were a month old, so they became mature. premature, you know, so they look. So if you look on the timeline of chronology, yes, technically they were premature, let's say by 4 weeks, but 4 weeks later.
Full term.
Full term.
So in the movie, what we see is a full term.
What you see in the movie is a full-term
but then
baby.
Who okays that? Who says, here, take my premature child? I mean, you got to get the parents' consent.
Yeah, well, there are stage moms of premature babies. And I'm sure they have a society of them, and we plucked from that.
It's
we plucked from
amazing
that cherry tree.
how show business seems to trump everything. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so from then now you go into the Hangover franchise. Oh my God! So you've been in nothing but hits. Here's, of course, I think this is a shot of you in. Is this the new movie? This is Despicable Me 2. That's your character. What are you doing in the Despicable 2 movie?
Yes, I am Floyd Eagleson. I am the proprietor of a hair replacement store for men. So pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah. Well, Doctor, nice going. You've done very well for yourself
thank you for having me.
In both pursuits. It's,
Thank you.
The movie Despicable Me 2 opens July 3rd. This is Ken Jeong. Ken, nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure
Thank you
meeting you.
very much.
Thank you.